I hope you enjoyed the Jumpstart opening. Jumpstart is a great game for when you get together with friends, don't have any time to prepare, don't want to spend time building decks, and just want to open some packs. Jam them together and start playing. We originally were talking about doing a Streets of the New Capenna draft, but life got in the way and we couldn't get 8 of us together to do a full competitive draft. So we decided to play Jumpstart followed by a 5-way Commander game instead. For Jumpstart, we had quite the variety of decks. I had a mono blue Teferi card draw deck. My friend Matt had mono green cat dinosaurs. My friend Joe had Dr. Legion. My friend Eric had Phyrexian enchantments. And my friend Trevor had spooky goblins. If you haven't already, please check out the Jumpstart opening. A link to that should appear right above me over here. While Jumpstart is random and tends to be fairly balanced, it's good competitive practice to try to guess what synergies have the advantage over the rest of the field. Can you guess which deck won? We'll reveal that over the overview of some of the play. For format, we didn't do a bracket because we had 8 players and wanted everyone to play as many games as possible and still feel in it to win. Doing round-robin play of 1 game each, where each player plays every other player and seeing who has the winning record at the end is a good setup, so we played 4 games each. If you get a tie on records, tiebreakers can be who defeated who directly. In this case, one deck went undefeated, so we didn't have to resort to tiebreakers. First up, I had my mono blue Teferi card draw deck against Joe's Dr. Legion deck. He got out Anointed Chorister and Makeshift Battalion pretty quick, while I only had out some defensive creatures, and it was looking like his life gain against my walls plus flyers. I tapped down his Anointed Chorister and drew enough flyers to fly over him and win. My second game was against Trevor's Spooky Goblins, and I drew a hand with nothing but card draw and Teferi's Tutelage. I felt I was unlikely to win because I imagined Spooky Goblins might get an early lead and not leave me any time to draw and play what I needed to stabilize. But I decided I had to keep the hand. I wanted nothing more with a Teferi and card draw Jumpstart pack deck to deck my opponent for the win. Everyone, besides Trevor, was watching to see if I could do it. I got Teferi's Tutelage out on turn 3, played a card draw spell or activate ability every single turn, putting 4 or more cards into Trevor's graveyard each turn. I probably got lucky that I milled him out of all of his red mana early enough, but sure enough, I removed every last card from his deck on my last turn. All I had to say was, your turn for the win. I then was up against Eric's Enchanted Phyrexians, and he could build some giant, scary mutated Phyrexian creatures. He was super vulnerable. All I needed was one of my bounce spells or a tapping spell to cancel out his stack of like 4 enchantments on a creature, but I did not get to any of those spells despite my plethora of card draw. I got Teferi's Tutelage out turn 3 just like I did against Trevor, but his speed of enchanting a giant Phyrexian proved too quick for me to draw a solution. Lastly, I played Matt's Dino Kitty deck. He got Galta out, I think, on turn 4, but I bounced it, and I bought enough time to play Teferi Master of Time, so I could phase his Galta out. I also could tap down his big creature with a Tolarian Kraken. I set up for the win with one more turn with some big ground creatures and 4 flyers for a bird's revenge over his grounded Dino Kitties. But he was able to remove my Tolarian Kraken on his turn, removing the last blocker I needed for survival, and he trampled his way to exact lethal, leaving me 0 life before my birds had a chance at revenge. Matt's Dino Kitties went 4-0 to be undefeated. In the future, I might have similar videos where I ask you to guess a winner, and those that guess correctly are eligible to receive the cards of a vintage pack opening. I'll wait until I announce the new name of this channel. Remember, I'm not Drew. And we get some more content available when the new Dominaria United set comes out in the end of August to do those kind of giveaways. Now on to Commander. I've been playing Magic for more than 25 years. You may be surprised to hear I've never played a game of Commander until now. I think it's about my competitiveness. Commander has mostly been a for fun format, so I've laid off it. I have to say, that was a mistake. It was incredibly fun. Commander is like a new game every single time you play because it's a singleton format where you can play one of each card and need a 100 card deck. I played my friend Eric's Gadwick the Wizard control, slowed down the opponent, then steal all their permanents deck. I was facing Joe's Growing Giant Squirrel deck, Trevor's Giant Rakdos deck, Matt's every time one of my creatures dies, every opponent loses like 16 life deck, and Eric's Proliferate Advantage deck that basically upheavals all opponents' permanents. It was interesting as a 5-way free-for-all because no one wanted to generate enemies early or else all 4 players would target you. We all just quietly built our engines, then the game ends once the engine goes infinite. And what deck went infinite? I had twice ultimated a Planeswalker that caused me to copy, now 3 times, every spell I cast. I also got Omniscience down, which was my key card, that allowed me to play all my spells without paying their casting cost. I also got down Shark Typhoon, which made every time I cast an instant or sorcery for me to make an XX flying creature where X was that casting cost. I also had spells that allowed me to gain extra turns, now copied 3 times. I ended up getting down to a point where I drew 20 cards, had no maximum hand size, didn't have to pay mana to play spells, and had 7 turns in a row. That was enough to get everyone to concede. After that Commander experience, I plan to enter Post Malone's Commander Challenge, where he'll draw 1 random opponent and offer them $100,000 to defeat him in Commander. Who knows, if I play Posty, maybe I'll borrow Eric's Commander deck again. That's all for today. Thanks again. I look forward to future pack openings, Dominaria United drafts, collection purchases, announcing the new channel name, and upcoming giveaways. Bye!